Hey everyone, it's Jason and this is your cruise news update. And we have over 300,000 people that are pushing back against Royal Caribbean. We have a passenger that's upset and demanding compensation over door slammers. And we have another passenger that is warning others not to make this $6,000 mistake. So cruise story number one, do you think this passenger deserves compensation? Now, I thought this story was interesting because I absolutely can't stand door slammers. And I know many of you that are watching feel the exact same way. And I think two things. One, they don't care. And two, they just don't realize how loud it is. So a passenger wrote into John Heald, the brand ambassador for Carnival Cruise Line. And it was their first Carnival cruise, and they said they were having a great time. They were with their 81-year-old mother in Alaska, and they considered it a bucket list cruise on the Carnival Legend. And to be with your 81-year-old mother in Alaska, I think that's amazing. But they said one big thing that was absolutely terrible, and it drove them crazy, was how many people were slamming their doors from early in the morning till late at night. They went as far as calling Carnival passengers selfish over it. Now, what's interesting is they went on to compare it with Norwegian Cruise Line, who they'd been on many times before, and said they've never once heard anybody slamming their doors. Well, if that's the case, they got really fortunate, because I've been on 6 different lines multiple times, and I've heard it on every cruise. Doesn't matter if you're in a suite or an inside cabin. I've heard people slamming their doors. Now, they went on to say that they think Carnival should make it up to them. And they asked John Heald for some compensation, or at least to send something special to their cabin to make up for it. But is this Carnival's fault? Now, John Heald responded back and he said, hey, I'm really sorry this happened, but I can't send anything to you. But what I would ask you to do is, if you don't want to have a conversation with them next door, if you don't want any confrontation, call down to guest services and let them know, and we'll do it for you. Have you ever called down to guest services over someone slamming their door? Now, I have talked to my neighbors about it, and most reactions I get are, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize it did that. I didn't realize it would shake your cabin. And the funny reaction is I never hear your door slamming. And I'm thinking, that's because I don't slam my door. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about door slammers? Is it warrant a compensation? I know if I got compensation for every time on a cruise someone slammed their door, I would have many free cruises. So I don't think that this is Carnival's fault. I get it, Carnival is guilty of many things, but not this time. And personally, to me, this is a people problem, not a Carnival problem. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. So cruise story number 2, and this one's interesting, as we've had over 300,000 people say no to Royal Caribbean at a change.org petition for Perfect Day Mexico. Now, if you're not familiar with Perfect Day Mexico, it is going to be in Costa Maya, and it is an aggressive plan. Royal Caribbean actually bought the port area. They own it. They own a lot of the land surrounding that, and they are going to build a Coco Cay type environment. Well, many of the locals are saying, our home is not amusement park. We don't want you. You're going to hurt our environment. You're going to hurt the reef there. And they're really concerned about the fishing village to the south, Mahawal. The reef, the fresh water, the environment, the turtles, very important to the locals. Now, what's interesting is Royal Caribbean didn't have to respond. I get it's got over 300,000 signatures, but let's face it, they own it. They could move forward with it. But they did respond, and they posted it in the Riviera Maya News for the locals to read. It is an in-depth response. I have to say, I'm impressed by it. And one of the things they said was the development will be categorized by transparency and a profound respect for the local community and environment. They also said by 2040, the entire area will operate on 100% green energy. It goes much more into detail in responding to each one of the things that many of the locals are worried about. What do you guys think about this? So before I get to cruise story number 3, I would ask that you please like this video and consider subscribing, as it does help the channel grow. If you could do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much. So cruise story number 3, and we have a passenger warning others not to make this $6,000 mistake. So a passenger said they were getting ready to get on their cruise the next day, and they were driving down early in the morning, and they were getting on in Port Canaveral, Royal Caribbean. And they said they were searching through, they had their passports, but they could not find their children's birth certificates. Looked all over. So they call up Royal Caribbean asking, is there anything they could do? They said, no, we need birth certificates. You needed to have this information. And they were like, could not believe it. They called up their insurance company, and their insurance company said, this isn't covered. And we're so sorry. They were out $6,000. And I thought, surely this doesn't happen that often. And then people in the comments started commenting. This has over 500 comments. But there has been over 20 comments of people going, we did the exact same thing. Multiple people. 4,000, 3,000, you name it. Thousands upon thousands of dollars they lost because they did not have their identification. Now for me, when I book my cruise, I go find my passports. I know where they're at constantly in my safe, but I still want to make sure I go look at them. And I know the dates by memory of when they expire, but I still look at them every single time I book my cruises. And we're packing for a cruise right now. Week away. I look. A few days before, 3 days before, I look again. The night before, I look again. I make sure my passport is front and center. Because quite honestly, as long as you have your passport and you have your credit cards, you can get on a ship. Yeah, you may have to buy some clothes or something like that, buy other things, but that's all you need. I don't stress about it as long as I got my passports, a little bit of cash, and my credit cards. What a terrible thing to happen. I felt so bad for them. Have you ever experienced this or ever heard of this? Let me know in the comments. So I have 2 fun photos to show you. First of all, this one right here. This is wild to me. I've heard a lot of people say the most loyal group is loyal to Royal, but I'm not sure you can get any more loyal than this, than to tattoo the ships you've been on Carnival on your legs. That is just absolutely wild to me. And when I saw this, I thought, I wonder if they're upset with the new loyalty program from Carnival Cruise Line. What do you think? And this second photo right here. Now, this was from a behind-the-scenes tour. They were only allowed to take 1 picture in this area. They said there was 11 different screens with video cameras from all over the ship. And they said you could absolutely see the balconies. I warn people in some of my tips and tricks, be careful what you do on the balconies because you're likely on video. So I appreciate you guys watching. I will probably not have a weekend video as we are traveling to a cruise out west. More information on that coming soon. So I do appreciate you guys watching. Thank you again for the continued support. And until I talk to you soon, happy cruising.